Hi everyone, my name is Michelle Becca and I am Senior Manager, Content and Digital Marketing at Ingram Micro. I've been with the company working in digital media for the better part of 20 years now. I hate to age myself, but I started out as an editorial assistant back in the late 90s using the World Wide Web for practically the first time as an associate of the company. I moved over to the new web team not long after it became its own team, which was exciting because it had this relaxed environment with beanbag chairs and web developers that worked these crazy hours. But it wasn't until 3 or 4 years ago that I really dug into digital marketing. And I'm not going to lie, it was a little bit scary because there's so much to learn. I think marketers tend to either be really excited about doing digital marketing or a little bit fearful. But what I've learned is that not knowing is okay because nobody has all the answers. It's something that's continually in flux. It's about trial and error, about testing, optimizing, seeing what works, what gets a response, and what makes an impact. Which is really exhilarating and pretty satisfying too. A lot has changed over the years, and we're currently going through more change than we ever imagined possible. So that's what I'd like to talk to you about today. Why today is the perfect time for digital marketing. And then some of my colleagues, experts in the various digital channels, are going to dig a little deeper into the how. So let's get started. Why invest in digital marketing now? I'm going to talk about 3 reasons. Maintaining share of voice, taking advantage of this big opportunity, and accelerating digital transformation. Traditionally, share of voice measured your share of paid advertising in comparison to your competitors. Today, the definition is expanded to comprise digital marketing efforts, but it's a little bit all over the map in terms of exactly what it includes. So for the purposes of our discussion, let's assume we're measuring online visibility or digital presence. So the level of awareness and availability of your brand digitally compared to your competitors. I read an article in April that said 90% of businesses were reviewing budgets for marketing. This is from a site called Digital Donut. It sounds a little extreme, but not surprising given the circumstances. This is a unique situation in that businesses are either overwhelmed by demand they can't meet, whether it's panic buying or need, or they're faced with a market that's essentially shut down. And we all know marketing traditionally has been one of the first things to go. But cutting budgets while providing short-term relief could result in market share loss that will be difficult and costly to regain once the market becomes truly competitive once again. So short-term relief does not outweigh long-term risk. There's no sense in cutting brand building unless survival depends on it. The reality is, though, that some brands will cut budgets, so you can continue maintaining your share of voice at a lower cost. There's less competition, less advertising saturation. But here's the big opportunity. You can also capitalize on lower cost growth. And there's your audience, this safer at home population whose reliance on digital media is growing exponentially. In Italy, for example, when the government imposed countrywide quarantine, online traffic spiked 30%, according to the internet security company Cloudflare. So if we're calling share of voice your digital presence in comparison to your competitors, ESOV, or excess share of voice, is how much greater your share of voice is over your share of market. And this represents massive opportunity to increase market share. Brands that invest in ESOV now can achieve impressive business gains, including, according to renowned author, strategist, and marketing consultant Peter Field, up to 4.5 times annual market share growth. Taking advantage of this opportunity means that when the world recovers, your brand could be first choice. So how do you do that in these strange times when customers potentially are unable to buy? You focus on the long term, number one. You take this time to build your brand, your share of voice, and your relationship with your customers. With everything going on in the world, it's important to be human, be authentic, use emotion and humor, show gratitude, establish goodwill, really be there for the people and the customers that depend on you. In terms of trends, initiatives we were working toward that were progressing at various rates of speed at the beginning of the year went into fast forward in March. So that digital presence I've been talking about is now vital, right? Your customers need to be able to find you and see you online. So how do you do that effectively? Most of us are using a multi-channel approach in our marketing, using multiple digital channels to reach our customers wherever they are. If you can for a minute, imagine an orchestra practicing. The flute's playing here, the violin's over here, the bass here. Everybody's playing their own part with a common goal of making music. That's multi-channel. Omni-channel is using those multiple channels in concert. Everybody playing their part in sync, still with the goal of making music, but working together on a masterpiece. Here are some eye-opening statistics according to the MarTech community ClickZ. They suggest that by delivering a consistent voice and cohesive brand message across all channels, a seamless customer experience, you can generate much better results. Over 3 times the engagement than a single channel approach. Better yet, customer retention, average order value, and purchase frequency are all higher. Omnichannel marketing is the road to enhanced customer experience that keeps people coming back for more. This is from a recent IDC webinar. Data suggests that marketing-guided information sources are preferred at every stage of the customer decision journey. You can see product experience and sales rise in importance throughout the journey, but don't come close to the preference for self-service information gathered through digital sources and peers. So we're moving toward a reach that doesn't just expand cohesively across channels, but extends throughout the entire customer journey. All of this means that we need to be providing a personalized experience based on how our customers are engaging with us. We can do this by leveraging marketing automation and the insights it provides to nurture our customers with customized content based on their own personal journey. This is the direction things are moving in, and they're moving quickly. This is why digital marketing right now. As I mentioned, I brought a few friends, experts in their respective channels, to tell you a little bit about the how we're doing that here, and what we're finding to be successful. So I'd like to now introduce you to Danielle Gallagher, our Senior Content Strategist.
Hi, my name's Danielle Gallagher. I'm a Senior Content Strategist at Ingram. For over 20 years, I've been creating content from faxes to social media ads. And what I found out that my journalism background has really helped me take the leap from going from print to digital content. Like newspapers, where people are scanning headlines, digital content is very browsable. And instead, they're browsing social media posts, or they're going over search results, just looking for that thing that holds their attention long enough that they want to click. And who knew that this click would be so valuable? But the journey really starts there, right? The key is to create engaging content that leads your customers on a successful buyer's journey. What's a buyer's journey? Again, we all have heard it, right? Awareness, consideration, and conversion. So before you start creating digital content, you need to know your audience. Content marketing isn't a one-size-fits-all. Audience segmentation is very important so that you can create the right message for the right audience. And the way you can do this is on my slide here. You can see the different groups that you can divide your customers into. And there's geographics, there's demographics, there's psychographics, and there's behavioral. All these things can help you divide your customers into groups and create this segmentation. And once you do that, then you'll be able to create content for these specific groups. And it's a win-win for everyone because the customers are getting more valuable content, and then you are earning the trust and loyalty of your customers, and your content will be more believable and credible. So here's an example of what we're doing on our website for segmentation. When you first visit our site, a splash page shows up and there's 3 choices to choose from: IT solution provider, manufacturer, individual. And once you select, you are directed to content for that specific audience. So that's just an idea of what you can do. So now that you've segmented your audience, where do you start with your content? Blogs are a great place. People are used to reading blogs and getting information from them, and they're a really easy way to create content. As you can see from these statistics, that people really like to turn to blogs for advice and information about products or other services. My favorite one is the first stat. It says exactly what we're saying into that. But I wanted to give you a few tips about writing blogs. We do a ton of blog content on our site. We're posting all the time. And the thing that you could do at your company, you don't have to be a writer to write a blog. You just need to have expertise and really tap into your company's experts and have them create blogs. And there's things they could do really easy: Q&As, FAQs, lists. Things like that are really easy to write, and people like to engage with that content. The other thing is you need to post frequently, all the time. You can't just have a post from 6 months ago sitting up there. And you need to be at least posting, maybe I'd like to see once a week, once every 2 weeks, and at the most monthly. The other thing is, when you're writing blogs, it's great to use statistics. People like that. They're easy to remember, and they kind of wow the point you're trying to get across. And then the other big thing is people don't want to read an advertisement. So make your blogs informational, not promotional. I mean, just kind of do what you think you would like when reading a blog. And then the last thing is, don't forget to promote your blogs. If you're having a party, you got to send out invitations. So a great way to do this is through social media or email. So if you have social media accounts for your company, use those to drive traffic to your blog content. So if you're listening to this and you're saying, I already do the blog thing, I already do the social media thing, I need to find something that's trending right now for digital content. What can I do to get people's attention today? 5 top digital content ideas that I can give to you today. On our slide, we have video. So video is key right now. People are engaging with it more than ever. And so this is a really good opportunity to really get upfront and personal with your customers. They can see your face, they can hear your voice. These are good things. You could show them how to do things. All sorts of things can happen over videos. You can have events like we're doing today. So, I mean, this is a great way to engage with your customers. So the other thing is we have interactive content. Everyone likes to take quizzes and polls and things like that, and those can be attached to incentives, any sort of giveaways. People kind of like to do those things as long as they're interesting for them and really hook them into engaging with that content. A few that the hyperdynamic content I haven't really dove into, but it's just another way to collect information for personalizing content to your customers. And this is going to be more important every day. I mean, the more personalized you can get, the better. And SEO Centric Content is something that is important because you want people to be able to search your content. And there's just a few easy ways to do that. There's some tools out there that are free that you can do keyword research, and you just need to make sure that your content has, meta descriptions, page titles, and sprinkled keywords in there. So when people search, your content will show up on that first page. That's very important. And then the last thing is really something we probably all notice. Voice search is huge right now. So many people are using their devices at home to search content with them through their voice, do shopping lists, play music, all these things. So we're going to need to start creating our content that's conducive to voice search. So it might be definitely something to look into. Start changing the way that you create that content for voice. So thank you for listening. I hope you learned a lot about content marketing, and I would be open for any questions you may have.
Hey, I'm Chris Bugler. I'm a senior digital producer at agency Ingram Micro. Today I'm going to talk about email marketing and why it's still super relevant in the digital marketing space. I'm going to cover the topics of automation, segmentation, and also a few best practices. So let's talk about automation. Email marketing is simply one of the most effective channels for your business. That's because email is very personal. It's your inbox, and it's almost like your personal phone number. While email newsletters and one-off campaigns will always have their place in your strategy, the smartest companies are setting up automated email campaigns that trigger off actual user actions. This guy Goran, who is the CTO of Kogan.com, an Australian retailer, says it really well. Every customer engagement is an opportunity to create positive brand relationship. Email's one of the most effective ways for us to connect with our customers, and that's true. If you look at an automation example from Amazon.com, and you're probably familiar with this, but if you're a new customer on Amazon or other big retailers like that, you're going to see the screen that asks you to sign up. And after you sign up, you're going to get put into an email workflow. Now, it'd be obviously a huge waste of time for Amazon to manually create and send an email campaign to every person when they sign up. So obviously, instead, they automated this campaign, a welcome campaign that will get sent to the users as they join Amazon.com. So after you sign up, a typical automation workflow might look like this. You sign up and you get the first email immediately. Thank you, Sam, for signing up. 2 days later, you might get some other tips on, how to use Amazon.com, how to make purchases, how to enter your credit information, etc. And then, maybe a few weeks later, you get a follow-up email, which starts to build that relationship with Amazon.com. So that's one example. Here's another example from my personal example from Nordstrom.com. So the other day I was purchasing some Birkenstock sandals for my wife, Tina, and she saw these sandals online and she really wanted them. So I went on I went on Nordstrom.com to purchase those sandals and went through the whole purchase process, bought 2 pairs, 2 colors, just so she could try them on, obviously at home, and either keep both or return one. Immediately after the purchase, I get that thank you email. On that thank you email, it's going to have information on the order itself, how to track the shipment, who to call if I have any issues, and also even information on timing of the orders related to COVID. So, we've all experienced these emails, even though we might take for granted what goes behind it, but it does start to build that relationship. It's personal, it's relevant, and it's timely, and it's triggered off a transaction. So I made that transaction, they have my information now, and they know something about me. And that's automation kind of in a nutshell. Coming off of automation, now that they have my information, they know who I am, is segmentation. So they're starting to understand my preferences now. Segmentation is the division of email subscribers into smaller segments based on criteria. It's used as a personalization tactic to deliver more relevant email marketing to subscribers based on anything from geography, interest, purchase history, and more. These segments are created so the marketer can cater specifically to each individual need, individual interest, rather than creating, blanket batch and blast messages. So let's look at another example. Post-purchase, Nordstrom.com. On the prior slides, you saw that I bought the Birkenstocks. It was a pair for my wife, but that really doesn't matter. Nordstrom knows I purchased those sandals for somebody, probably a woman. They know that our family then maybe is active. It's coming into summertime. You can see that like it starts to build the relationship. They know me, they know it's summer, they know maybe we're active, therefore maybe we like to work out. The second email that I received shortly after is OOTD, Summer Workout Style, which is OOTD, I think, is Outfit of the Day. And they don't know exactly who I am, but they're starting to know me. And so this email is basically about summer workout clothes, and it also starts off with a promotion, which is great. It pulls you in. So the bottom part of this email, as you start to read it, you can see that not only did they serve me women's clothing, but they also served me men's clothing for summer sportswear, which is smart. They gave me the choice for both, as well as they included a special offer. I mean, that's great, right? That's segmentation. It starts to build that relationship. Nordstrom didn't obviously send this email to all their customers. They sent it to me and other customers that met that specific criteria. It's, instead of serving up, a mass email, it's giving me targeted and relevant information, and it keeps my inbox from getting cluttered with mass emails, and it also is more effective for Nordstrom.com. Let's talk about a few best practices when sending emails. Obviously, get to know your audience. There's a difference between what you want to say and what they're interested in, and that delta in between is really relevance. And you saw that in the Nordstrom emails. They really got to know me. They sent me a specific email that was targeted to me. They built a prior relationship with me, and that relevance is key. That relevance is the understanding that they have of you. They have an understanding of their audience. How I want to get communicated to, and what types of activities I liked. So it's unlikely that you're going to know in the first email, that delta, but over time, you're going to build that, and, within your email database, you're going to understand your customers more. A second best practice is really that thing of A/B testing, or just testing. Before we send our emails out, we usually test at the bare minimum subject lines and the CTAs, and just making sure that those resonate. There's multiple tools online to do that. Make sure you do that. It's going to make a significant improvement in your open rates, and people do appreciate it when they see that subject line and it resonates to them. Another thing is really that cross-browser testing. Before you send that email, you really need to look at different email browsers, whether it's Outlook or Apple, and make sure that that email is rendering correctly in each browser, because they're different, and we don't all use the same one. So there's tools online to do that, like Litmus, Email on Acid. You can sign up for those and really make sure that your emails are rendering correctly before you hit the send button. It's sad when you spend all that time coding and writing copy and picking images, but then the email goes out and it really does not render correctly. The last part is also making sure that your email renders correctly across mobile devices, so mobile, desktop, and tablet. With the proliferation of customers checking their email on smartphones, maybe with a slow Wi-Fi connection, optimizing the email for those is super important. And finally, personalization, personalize those emails. It's not new. Talked about personalization for years, but just to reiterate, batch and blast emails just aren't going to cut it, and they're not going to get the high conversion rates that you want. So that's it for this presentation. I thank you so much for your time, and I hope this has helped you gain some insights into your future email programs. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out through email or after the other presentations. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for having our team and allowing us to speak today. My name is Chase Miller, and I am a digital marketing manager here at agency Ingram Micro. Today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about digital marketing campaigns and digital advertising. So the truth is, we're no longer in an age where we can only rely on sending print mailers or purchasing an expensive billboard near a freeway with heavy traffic. We need to adapt while we still can and change our way of thinking to be digital first. So given the situation that we're currently faced with stay-at-home orders and work from home becoming the new normal, just adds fuel to the fire for digital marketers. Now, when I mention a digital marketing campaign, I'm not just talking about posting to your personal Facebook page to promote your business, or running a paid Instagram ad, or hiring an overqualified copywriter to write search engine optimized content for your company's blog. I'm talking about it all. Paid media, as well as earned media and owned media. So here are a few different types of media that you might include in a digital marketing campaign. And I will get into some of these in more detail throughout this presentation. So all of these different forms of media play a role in a successful digital campaign. We need to be able to tell a cohesive story that has one call to action and is easy to digest by our target audience. If we have a new product or solution that we want to market, we want to ensure we're showing up where our target audience is spending time. Makes sense, right? When you drive past a billboard and you see that billboard each time you drive past it, maybe once or twice a day, that billboard is advertising to everyone driving past it. If it's McDonald's billboard promoting Big Macs, they're showing an advertisement to thousands of people a day who likely don't even eat McDonald's or let alone even eat fast food. With digital advertising, we have the ability to show up where your target audience is currently spending their time. Facebook newsfeed, email inbox, LinkedIn inbox, Instagram stories, Twitter feed, etc. The list goes on and on. Places where most people are spending hours of their day. They're not just driving past once or twice. Most people need to see an advertisement several times before acting on it. And with digital, we can do just that in a small window of time. So most importantly, you get real ROI. Everyone likes to see the return on investment, right? Now, with a billboard, McDonald's doesn't know exactly how many customers came in because they saw their billboard promoting Big Macs. They just know if their location near the billboard is doing well. Shooting in the dark is no longer mandatory with the technology we have access to. So we want to hit our target audience from multiple angles so that we're influencing their decision at the right place at the right time. So now I'm going to dive into 3 types of media that you'll often see used in digital marketing campaigns: SEO, organic social, and paid social media advertising. First, we have SEO, also known as search engine optimization. And some of you might be familiar or have heard this term. The short definition of SEO is the optimization of website content to increase quality and quantity of website visitors. The reason we do this is to increase visibility for a brand or website by ranking site content in top search results on popular search engines. I recommend that most businesses have some type of SEO strategy. Get someone who understands keyword research, web page optimization. Getting Google, the largest search engine in the world, to index your website and have it rank in search results is a big deal. Focus on what your audience is searching for. A lot of Google's algorithm nowadays is being catered towards voice-to-text phrases. People are using their phones to ask questions. Think about how your audience would ask a question in real life. Focus on long-tail phrases, such as how to install Wi-Fi in a 2-story building, versus the generic phrase, installing Wi-Fi. If you sell Wi-Fi solutions or Wi-Fi extenders, this can help draw in more paying customers. These longer phrases may have lower traffic, but can have much lower competition and higher intent. It's not always quantity that matters, it's quality as well. So surely your business is unique in some way, and there are literally millions of keywords and phrases that you can rank for in search engines that can gain you high quality traffic to your website. Some of us in this space have really niche offerings, which may even allow for higher quality traffic or easier rankings in some cases. So let's dive into organic social. There's various platforms you can establish an organic social presence on, and you probably have heard of most of them. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, etc. The list goes on and on. A content strategy along with a look and feel are a big piece of beginning and growing your organic social media presence. You want people to come to your page and instantly know what your business is about. Make sure your branding is cohesive on your social channels and make sure it ties into the look and feel of your website. You don't need someone clicking through to your website from your Twitter account and then wondering if they're in the right spot. That's a bad day. You don't want to be there. When it comes to messaging, it's important to keep your organic posts short, to the point, with visually appealing imagery. There's a lot of organic posts on these social channels, and you want to make sure you stand out. Using proper hashtags and interacting with people who comment on your post is another great way to show these social media platforms that you're a value add and that your post is relevant so that it shows to more people. Now, there's a statement I've heard quite often in my time as a digital marketer, and it's, I don't think my audience lives on blank platform, or I don't think my targeted audience spends a lot of time on Instagram, or I don't think my audience hangs out on Twitter, so why should I invest in building out my Twitter profile? Well, does it? Are you sure? Have you tried it? You might be surprised. The great thing about digital marketing and digital advertising is that there's data to work off of. Maybe you're right. Maybe posting organically to your Instagram or Twitter page isn't the breadwinner for your business. But try it first. And that doesn't mean that platform isn't going to work for your paid media digital efforts. Again, you'll have to test it out and find out. So people are everywhere when it comes to digital, and most of the difficulty comes from being able to find them and interact with them enough for them to take notice in your business. Organic social is a cost-effective way to promote. It doesn't cost anything. Plus, if you decide to run paid media campaigns on a social media channel, you're going to need a company page anyway. Speaking of paid media, I'm going to touch on a few common digital advertising channels we use to run ads. Now, I don't have time to go into every digital marketing channel today, but I want to touch primarily on social media advertising since I do have a few minutes. You may have seen ads on your personal Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter feed, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. Here's an example of what these might look like. They often contain a short and concise message that tells the target audience exactly what they want them to do. There's typically a call to action button along with the word sponsored or promoted right next to the post. We typically try to stay away from text in the image to get better results. These are what I might consider a more standard static ad, but each of these platforms offers a wide variety of ad types, including video, most of which are clicked on and then take the user to a landing page for more information about the promotion or offer. So when it comes to the standard ads, you'll need to create the ads and a landing page along with anything else that's going to be included in the campaign. Luckily, that's not the only option. We have other ad variations and other ad types, and we have something called lead gen ads. In channels such as Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, you have the option to run an ad and capture user data all within the platform. Rather than running an ad, having the user click through to your landing page, read the landing page, and decide if they're interested, we can simply shorten the customer's journey. Typically, this is more cost effective as well since custom landing pages don't have to be created for a campaign. All right, now I want to spend just a little bit more time on LinkedIn because they are an upcoming platform right now that is just increasing in popularity, and they have a wide variety of ways to reach your target audiences. We have everything from a standard ad that shows up in your newsfeed, similar to Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, to LinkedIn InMail and conversation ads that allow you to reach out directly to your target audience and start a conversation via their inbox or chat when they are logged in and active on LinkedIn. This can provide a personal touch that many other platforms have yet to adopt. Again, it's another cost-effective solution that can shorten the customer's journey. Let's talk about paid media and how you can go about targeting your existing and future customers. We can upload email addresses and phone numbers to certain social channels and then market to these individuals. This can be a great tactic for marketing to your existing customers. We can build out audiences based on a particular persona by targeting individuals by age, gender, location, purchase behavior, likes and interests, job titles, etc. The list goes on and on. This is an excellent tactic for acquiring new customers. And lastly, we can retarget people who have visited specific pages on your website. And this can be a great tactic for upselling or promoting a similar product or service. Now, when it comes to thinking through a campaign, we need to take into consideration where the customer is at in their journey. Everyone wants to jump right in and start converting users. And I don't blame them, but we need to identify where the audience is at in the funnel. Consider running an awareness campaign to educate an audience about a product or solution before jumping right in and trying to convert them the first time around. We need to build trust. We need to make these people, believe that we are a reputable brand and have a great product and solution. Or we can try upselling. If you already have an audience who's purchased, you can go ahead and try to upsell a product or a similar product to what they've already bought. It's not just about billboards and mailers anymore. Shoot, it's not even just about landing pages and cold calls anymore. We're past that and need to continue growing and adapting. I'm a huge believer in momentum, getting in front of the target audience and staying at the top of their mind. Always be thinking about what's next and how you can use the results from a current campaign in a future campaign. So you'll fall into one of these groups at the end of the day. If you've never done digital, then I highly suggest you try it and find someone who can help you test the waters if you have questions. Now, if you've tried digital and it didn't work, I might suggest you try it again because it's not going anywhere. Maybe try a different marketing channel, maybe a different agency to work with, or testing out a different campaign. Not everything is going to work, but once you figure out what does work, you can leverage that data and further optimize. And lastly, if you're currently using digital, then you know there's always room to optimize, get better, and learn from the data. So that's all I have for today's presentation. But if there's any way that we can be of assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out. And thank you again for the opportunity to present today.